Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to this tutorial series with Fly With Me Simulations. Today we are on part 2 of our first time connecting to the VATSIM network. So, this is going to be quite an exciting video for those of you that haven't been on the VATSIM network before. First few things just to point out though, and things that you need to know, is you need to obviously already be registered with VATSIM. It's a very easy process, just head to the VATSIM website and register as you need to. Most importantly, you need to read all the documents and policies that VATSIM have and make sure you adhere to them at all times. VATSIM is a very serious network and it's designed to be as realistic as possible. So for everyone to have an enjoyable experience, they have quite rigid policies and procedures. So today in this video, we're going to look at how we request our clearance, how we request our pushback, and how we request our taxi. That is the first thing we're going to look at in this part of the video. So we're doing a flight, we're at Liverpool today, and we're going across to the lovely Edinburgh airport. Last time I've flown from Liverpool, in fairness, it's meant to be quite a nice place. Right, let's jump over to this side. So, as I said with the VATSIM network, there's loads of guides here about choosing a call sign. It tells you specifically what you need to know about choosing a call sign. Getting started, how you join. So you need obviously to choose a client. The client that we use on VATSIM is vPilot for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and I think that is the only one. And there's other optional programs to see what other ATCs online. So how do I know if ATC is online? First thing I need to do is go to the VATSIM radar. So I'm just going to refresh it. So vatsimradar.com is the tool that I use, and we are here down in Liverpool. So I thought we'd use a fairly quiet airport just so we all know what's going on. So I know there that they're open because there's a G there which stands for ground. So we know ground's open, but there's no tower frequency. So that means we'll go to Unicom once we depart, or advisory as it's now called. So jumping back to this, make sure you have a good look through and respectful. Don't be afraid if you're new to the VATSIM network, but make sure you're confident at flying your aircraft before joining the network. So, without further ado, let's head over to the vPilot client. Obviously, we saw in the last video how to file a flight plan. So you literally follow that first part of the video, and basically that will take you step by step through what you need to know with that. So, let's just quickly change the client on here, and I'm going to show you vPilot. So, this is a vPilot. At the moment, it shows I'm not connected. Most importantly, in the settings, make sure you are logged in, and it won't let you start if you're not logged in. You have your microphone and you have your output, which is usually a headset, selected, and your push to talk button is selected on your joystick or keyboard. Model matching, there is a video about that. It's not particularly required, but for better realism, it's pretty much essential. So, you probably hear the sim just fired up in the background. We've got everything set up. We've just got 2 more minutes for the IRS to align. So, first things first is we're going to hit the connect button, and we're going to type in our call sign, which is EZY97, so EZ97 or EZ97, and our aircraft type. So we're in an A319. If we was in an A321, you just type A321 and select from the drop down box. It's that simple. So, as I say, A319, and we hit that connect button. It will say you're connected to the voice server. Give it a few seconds and things will start to appear on it. It will take a couple of minutes for it to collate all the different frequencies that are online. And we were looking for EGGW to be online. That's what we're after. No, EGGP, sorry, to be online. So, first things first is we need to tune to the local frequency. So that is the Unicom frequency, which it will always default to. My suggestion would be is to get a piece of paper before we listen to the ATIS. So literally tune to the ATIS to find out what runway's in use, what the weather's like, and what information they're using, and the local QNH setting, which we will know about just here.
Ryanair 21 Mike Lima. Imminent landing for runway 23 right, 4 miles to landing.
So let's tune this frequency and we'll listen to some of the noise, and we'll take down the key bits of information, which I will go through afterwards. So 124330. The hardest bit is tuning the box. I obviously have a a radio panel, which does make things a lot
This is
easier.
Rapid Express and 1845 holding short. Juliet 1 lining up behind the liner.
Surface, wind 30,018 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more, view at 2,600 feet, scattered at 3,300 feet, temperature +12, dew point +5, QNH 1024, ground is open. Departing aircraft make initial contact on frequency 121.955. Acknowledge receipt of information hotel and advise aircraft type on first contact.
Just ignore that bit.
Liverpool Information Hotel, time 1320 Zulu, runway in use 27, transition level flight level 60, 20,000
So, from that, we know the bits of information we need to know now. So, we know that Information Hotel is the current information for the ATIS. So, at your top of a bit of paper, first of all, you want to type what stand number you're on. So, we're at stand 3. And we are at type A319. And write that next to it. Our information is hotel. And we're requesting IFR to Edinburgh. So instrument flight rules is what we use in commercial aviation. VFR is for things like Cessnas that we're using visual flight rules. I personally don't do any visual flight rule flying on here, so there's other videos out there to support you through that. To Edinburgh. And then before all that, we need to put our call sign so they know who we are. So EZY907. So initially what we'll do is we'll tune the ground frequency, which is 121.955, which was shown in there. So 121.955 is what we're after. So I'll go backwards and it will go back through the... So 121.955, and then we put it in the active box, and that will put us into the correct frequency. So first things first, we need to ask for a radio check. Especially if you're new to the client, you need to know that VATSIM can hear you and the ATC can hear you properly. So all we will do is we'll just say, Liverpool ground, a good afternoon, EZ907, requesting radio check, please.
SCR 225 Charlie requesting taxi to runway 27.
Aviation 235 Charlie.
Most important thing is don't interrupt the
via
other controllers or other pilots that are also trying to communicate.
SCR 225 taxi to a holding point Alpha 1 via Tango and Alpha. Thank you.
So then, next steps really are to do this radio check. So, Liverpool ground, good afternoon. EZ97, requesting radio check, please.
Course line cover radio check, readability 5.
Wonderful, so readability is 5. Obviously they scale that from 0 to 5. So 5 is the best, 0 is rubbish. And you want a 5. Generally speaking, everyone will be a 5. If they can't hear you, they will tell you they cannot hear you.
Requesting taxi to runway.
Maybe you need to adjust some of the settings. You can rise to your microphone, there are tactics around that. So next thing is we need to look at our clearance. So I'm just going to hide that, so we don't need the V-Pilot client for a while. Obviously don't close it because it will log you off, but we'll put that on the different screen. Thing we do need though is we need to have a quick look at Navigraph. So we need to know some important information here about our routing. So as you can see, we're runway 27 is what we're using, and this is our standard instrument departure. So on the clearance,
Etihad 235 Charlie,
basically say our call sign,
Alpha 3 for
stand 3, what aircraft type we are, Information Hotel, request an IFR to Edinburgh.
Etihad 225 Charlie holding an Alpha.
However, they will know what, we already know what SID we're using, what standard instrument departure we're using out
left
of
on
the
Alpha
airport.
and hold at Alpha 1.
So we're using a Pole Hill 4 Tango departure. And that's all we need to know, and then they will give us a squawk code back. So what we need to do is initially say EZ97 stand 3 type A319 Information Hotel IFR to Edinburgh. So let's hit that with the air traffic controller.
Speedbird 43, taxi via Kilo, left and Alpha, and hold Alpha 1, runway 27.
Speedbird 43, taxi to Kilo, left, hold Alpha 1.
So then, let's request our clearance, is what the word I was looking for. So, we will speak to ground. Liverpool ground, good afternoon, Easy 907s with you on stand 3. We're type A319, information hotel, requesting IFR clearance to Edinburgh, please. Now he will repeat a load of information back to us. So he's just having a look himself now, our flight plan.
Easy 907, Liverpool ground, good afternoon to you. You're cleared to Edinburgh via the Pole Hill for Tango departure, information India, QNH 1024, and you are squawking 5664.
So we now read that back. Cleared to Edinburgh, Pole Hill for Tango departure, information India, QNH 1024, and squawking of 5664, EC 907.
Easy 907, read back correct.
So he's told us that is correct. We need to obviously adjust the QNH in the box here, so adjust it to 1024.
35 Charlie, you are Alpha 4. You can carry on taking Alpha 1, given way to the
Make sure it's switched on.
British Airways
Make sure it's in
Airbus
TA mode.
A321. Passing
And
left to right on Kilo.
5664.
That's 55, I can continue taxi.
So that is our clearance.
Hold that Alpha 1 after. But I can continue taxi, but give
I've just realised you couldn't see any of that, so what I've just done
Airbus A321
is make sure the QNH is set 1024 and down in
So
the
the
transponder
343, no further ATC for you, Monarchy
we
Intercom
need to hit
122,
the
bye-bye.
5664, make sure it's in
Speedbird 43, going
all
to
TA
122.8.
and it's switched on there, and that's also switched on yours. It will give you a standby warning. So next thing really is to push back from stand. So we'll get the aircraft in a position now. I'm not going to go through all the checklists, we're just literally going to go through it just for argument's sake, just so you all know what's what basically. So we get the APU on.
Liverpool ground, good afternoon, Easy 69 Papa Echo A320 stand 4, information over.
So if we go back to Navigraph charts, nothing's really changed there. We're going to get given a direction. So this is us here, and he's going to tell us to push back either east or west, and the way that is the direction of the chart. So as you look at it, is it east or is it west? So chances are it's going to be, say, facing east on this occasion. So that's what we'll do, is we'll ask for our pushback. Liverpool ground, Easy 97 stand 3 is ready for push and start.
Easy 97, stand 3, push to start, approved, facing east.
Push start approved, facing east, Easy 97. So you just read that back to him and tell him which direction you're facing. We'll now just go on to GSX. So brake released, and then we'll go. Apologies about that.
All engines are clear. Start at will.
So after all that, we can just start the engines when we want anyway. So once the engines are started, obviously, and everything's disconnected, we'll then set the parking brake, and that is our next step to ask for our taxi instructions. So whilst that's pushing us back, I'm just going to show you roughly how to preempt taxi instructions. So we know that runway 27's in use, and chances are they will go to the threshold of the runway, unless you're asking for an intersection departure, which I'm not today because it's quite a small runway anyway. So we're going to be at Alpha 1. So when we ask for taxi instructions, they're going to say you're cleared to taxi to Alpha 1 via, and then it'll be whatever routing you go. So it's going to be Uniform and Alpha in this case. As you see, there's an aircraft just departing on the right hand side. As you can't see because everything's in the way, but it's just departing as we speak. So parking brake's set, and we're just going to start the other engine, and then we'll get on our way. Busy airports, they'll want you to be turning around quite quickly.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
In the day, if people have to wait, they have to wait. It's not the end of the world. So next thing to do is going to be asking for our taxi instructions, and obviously we'll switch off the APU and stuff as we're doing on. Like I say, it's not a tutorial about the Phoenix, it's a tutorial purely about VATSIM and what we need to do. So we need to request our taxi instructions, and all we do is just say our call time, requesting taxi. That's all we need to say. Liverpool ground, easy 97 ready for taxi.
Easy 97, we call him taxi, sorry?
Yes, that's affirmative, easy 97.
Easy 97, roger, taxi on the point Alpha 1, runway 27 via Whiskey, Uniform and Alpha.
Taxi to runway 27, holding point Alpha 1 via Whiskey Uniform and Alpha, easy 97. So we must be on Whiskey at the moment, and then we're going to go on to Uniform and Alpha. So basically we're going to taxi straight ahead and then round to the left hand side. So we'll release the brake and then we'll start going as quickly as possible. And basically the next thing that will happen, because we don't have any tower online, is he's going to hand us over to Unicom once we reach the threshold. Which is a good thing to see, because it requires a little bit more...
Easy 69 Papa Echo, stand 4, ready for push and start.
Easy 69 Papa Echo, give way to the company A319, passing you left to right, push and start approved, facing east.
Give way to company A319, push and start approved, face east, easy 69 Papa Echo.
So we'll taxi now straight out to the runway. So yeah, he's going to hand us over shortly to Unicom frequency or advisory, which is 122.8, and it's a standard frequency across the whole of the VATSIM network when there is no ATC online. And basically that actually allows us to make more decisions based on, it allows us to make more decisions, but it means you need to be more careful, because there is other aircraft about, and I must admit some aircraft aren't very good at communicating with one another. So the most important things, once we depart, so we'll announce that we're departing the runway. We can see on our radar here there's no inbound aircraft that we can see. So that's fairly reassuring. If there is inbound traffic, and normally if they're 7.5 miles, I don't tend to depart before them unless it's really, really busy and I feel confident I can get out before them. Because obviously, imagine that you've been on a flight for 2 or 3 hours and then someone messes up your entire approach that you've been waiting for hours. I must admit I would be a little bit annoyed if that's the case. So it's all about just being nice to one another. And communicating well with each other. So what we'll do, we'll announce our departure, which you'll hear, and then we'll depart out and we'll tell them what standard instrument departure we're using. I tend to do that. I don't know if we're meant to use that. I don't always tend to, but I do quite a lot of the time. It just gives people more information and then what flight level we're climbing to. So we're going to fly straight to our cruise level. And then obviously we're going to be going over to Edinburgh. At the moment there's no ATC online, however that could change. Edinburgh is a very busy airport normally, and there quite often is ATC online. So in a second now, he's going to hand us over to advisory.
C for you on a Unicom 122.8 bye.
Okay, advisory 122.8. Thanks for your help, easy 97. So we're going to switch now. So that's the idea of having a radio panel. So I've now switched to the Unicom frequency. And now we'll just say Liverpool traffic, easy 97, line up runway 27. Liverpool traffic, easy 97, line up runway 27. And obviously we'll pop our taxi landing lights on and make sure all the checklists are done, which I've already done thankfully. And then we'll take off and we'll put it straight off. So if we're just saying we're lining up, obviously we're lining up, but we'll also now say Liverpool traffic, easy 97, departing runway 27, Liverpool traffic. So we just tell them who we are, what airport it is, who we are, and then what airport it is again. Manflex, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. So we'll now take off this runway obviously. It's a little bit blustery here in the UK at the minute.
Liverpool 3, going down to 3 out.
So here we'll pick up a lot of Manchester traffic. We're just about to hit our V1 speed and then we'll take off.
Manchester traffic, beeline 96 Tango SM miles final, runway 23 right.
So we're going to enable AP1. I wouldn't normally do this, I'd usually fly it manually, but just for the video, that's what we do. So next thing we're going to do is just going to announce that the runway is vacated. Liverpool traffic is E97 has vacated runway 27, Pole Hill 4 Tango departure, climbing flight level 240. So we're now going to pop it into climb and all the usual procedures that we normally do. And you'll stay on this frequency now all the way until we basically either enter other air traffic or all the way until you arrive at the other airport. You'll be pleased to know that Edinburgh has just come online, so Tower is now online, so this will be perfect for our approach. So basically what happens, I'm going to leave the video there for now, but this is pretty much the routing out. So you follow your routing out, you climb to your flight level that you're cleared to, and you monitor for any traffic. If there is any traffic, try and communicate with them and see if we can come to a resolution. If not, just try and avoid them, whether you go up a flight level or down a flight level. It's just how it goes sometimes. So that is where we're at the moment. Thank you very much for watching this first part. I hope it's been of use to you new guys that aren't so used to flight sim. It's all a learning curve. You will make mistakes and you will get confused, but don't let that put you off. Just make sure you're confident flying the aircraft first and make sure you follow the VATSIM rules. That is the main thing. Everyone makes mistakes. It is a game at the end of the day. We all like realism, but we need to basically follow all the rules correctly, and then you won't have any problems at all. If you have any more questions or anything that I haven't covered or anything you're unsure about, drop them in the comments, or also join the Discord channel and drop them in there and I'll reply to you directly. Thank you very much for watching this second part. If there is any ATC that comes online in the meantime for like London Control, then obviously we'll do another video as part of that, but I don't think there's going to be realistically. But thanks very much for watching and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.